look at the question and tell me what exactly do you find out about the question. Look at the question. Let's understand the time, right? When we say look at the question, looking at the time, looking at the topic, looking at the task questions, trying to find out, trying to understand the topic question, trying to understand what exactly is asked of you or needed to you to do. So how would you go about this?
So basically, like we'll be checking what exactly, the topic is given. Mostly, the question mark, what exactly, this essay is all about. And coming to the third questions, okay, it's asking like how this can be, solved. So basically, there are a few things that we need to consider before writing an essay. The main idea, revolves around plastic, okay, and what damage it does, and what are the prevention or the steps that can be taken by the necessary bodies to solve
Exactly.
this.
Very good. So you answered my question partially correct. So let me just elaborate a little bit. So ideally, the first thing that we are doing is the moment you're coming across the question, you're first, working on just a moment. So the first thing that you're doing is you're looking at the time. They've given you 40 minutes, right? Which basically means that the entire writing task 2 has to be completed in 40 minutes of time. Now, this is something which is very important, right? So we have to understand that how exactly to segregate these 40 minutes, and we'll work on that. Now, you're coming across the question again, looking at the topic. This is your topic. And these are your task questions.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Correct.
Right? So what is the topic asking you? The topic is asking you that, plastic bags and plastic bottles and plastic packaging are bad for the environment. So the topic has thrown a challenge at you. The topic is basically trying to debate or discuss about a particular problem that the environment is facing. And it's saying that all the plastic materials, they are basically detrimental or they pose a big threat to the environment. Correct?
Okay.
And then, you have these questions, these task questions. The first task question is what damage does plastic do to the environment? So asking you about the effects.
Okay.
Right? And then asking you what can be done by governments and individuals to solve this problem. So asking you about the solution. Got it? So this entire question, the moment, you're coming across the entire question, the first thing that you have to do is you have to segregate the topic and the task. What is the topic? The topic is basically a problem in the question, which is asking you to discuss, which is telling you that, see, a lot of plastic is posing threat or, it is doing irreversible damage to the environment. And then in terms of the task questions, there are two questions. One is, what is the kind of damage that is done? I mean, how severe is the damage or how serious are the adverse effects? And the second one, what would be the solution or how exactly to go about this problem? So this is a typical problem solution essay. Problem solution essay.
Do I need to make any notes or will you share this?
No, I'll be sharing this, don't worry. So ideally, when it comes to your IELTS writing task 2, you have these 7 to 8 different types of essays, and each essay has a type, it has a structure, it has a way of writing, it has a language for writing. Now, this is a problem solution essay. And so the moment you're coming across a question for the essay, the first thing that you have to do is you have to identify the topic, task, and type. Topic, task, type. Why? Because the way you're writing this essay, the structure for this essay, the language, the words, etc., depend on the type of the essay. So definitely you cannot expect that, a problem solution essay will be written in the same way as an opinion essay, right? So unless you are being able to segregate and identify the type of the essay, then how would you even know that which is the structure that needs to be followed for this type of essay? Am I clear?
Got it. Yeah, got it.
Second thing, which is a little bit more important, is look at this question, give reasons for your answer and include reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples. from your own knowledge or experience. Can you elaborate a little bit on this, whatever you understand from this statement or this sentence?
Basically, it is asking, let's suppose, let's talk about the, the topic, what it has given. Okay. So we have to provide relevant examples, how celebrities come forward, to encourage people regarding, this, teaching them, how plastic is, dangerous to the society. And based upon experience and knowledge also, you can say, let's suppose if there is any activity, performed by any NGOs, that you have, taken an active participation in that, to work on it, to solve the issue, like to solve the problem, mostly in a campaign or near seashore or an ocean, just they form a team to, to remove all the plastics. That
Correct.
is
So
something
basically,
can be
yeah.
included.
Correct. So if you kind of, look at the question is basically trying to tell you that whatever is your answer, now whatever is your answer with respect to this particular question, they have given you a problem in the question. Correct. And then,
Correct.
they are asking you about the adverse effects or the adverse consequences. So when you talk about the adverse effects or adverse consequences, you not only have to talk about the consequence, but you also have to mention how and why this is happening. Okay, so today, if you say that yes, plastic is causing irreversible damage to the environment, then you have to mention the first point or the first effect. What is the first effect? Maybe, it is reducing the fertility of the soil, right? What happens if the fertility of the soil is substantially reduced and the crop produce will be less? What would happen if the crop produce is less? Then definitely the people will be starving. You would have to, depend on other countries and nations for export. That would be exorbitantly pricey and expensive. Correct? Are you getting it? It's a chain of events, So it's very important that when they ask you a reason, you cannot just say that it reduces the fertility of the soil. Done. Okay. I mean, you have to mention that what happens. I mean, when the question asks you that what damage does plastic do, the damage cannot be given in just one sentence, just one sentence. A little bit of elaboration, a little bit of explanation needs to be done. Because under the marking criteria of task achievement and task response, it is very important that for every point you present the point, you extend and you give substantial evidence for that. Got it?
But one
yeah.
small question. So,
Yeah.
what is the minimum or the allowed length? I mean the
Minimum
the
is
number of birds.
150. Minimum is 150. Minimum is 150,
I
which
don't think so.
means
150 will suffice. I mean
I
to
said
say.
minimum. I said minimum.
Okay, maximum. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Maximum you can stretch until 290, 300, not more than that. Any good and standard IELTS writing task 2 is enough. I mean, if you have 290, 300 words, that's entirely more than enough, to get a good essay written. Okay. So that's how it is. So this entire, I mean, this is one thing. And second thing is if you look at this and relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. So you're supposed to give evidence and examples from your own knowledge and experience. Correct. So what happens is that say, for example, you say what can be done by governments and individuals to solve this problem. Okay. So maybe, you give me a solution.
Like I mentioned, let's say that the government should encourage people through advertisement, through
yes, perfect. So now when
awareness,
you
social awareness program by
yes, correct,
calling the celebrities,
correct,
or on social media they can do that.
correct. So
And
the
apart
moment
from
you give this kind of an example or evidence, sorry, you give this kind of a point that solution. The first solution is that the government or the state should be stepping up measures to organize campaigns, awareness programs, so that they can educate the people, they can educate the local people, they can educate the residents and citizens about the serious damage that plastic waste can do to the environment. Now, if you just give this point, it's not sufficient. You also have to give relevant example, because in the question they have categorically mentioned that include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. right? So
Mhm.
ideally, you have to give an example. So for this particular, point of creating awareness and educating the people and the citizens, you can give a relevant example or evidence of, you can pick up, say, some celebrity. All right, and you can say
Okay.
that, so and so person, he or she propagated, or he or she kind of, publicized and popularized this movement, Chipko movement.
Okay.
Okay, and because of that,
Okay.
things took a very good turn, and people became aware, and then gradually, they started segregating the dry waste and the wet waste, and avoided throwing plastic in the environment. Am I clear? So
Okay.
this is what this.
Yeah, I got it.
I mean, this is exactly how you need to deconstruct and segregate the entire question. So what was the whole idea behind giving you so many insights about how to deal with the question is that most of the times I have seen from my experience and analysis with every kind of student that you fail to understand the question. So if you fail to understand, if you fail to understand a particular question, then no matter what you write doesn't turn out to be good, because your basic
Mm.
understanding of the question is very important. And when I say understanding includes understanding the topic, understanding the task, because unless you understand the task questions, you would not know what exactly to include. Now when you go through this task question, you understand that in your essay you should give effects, right? You should give solution, you should give reasons for your answer, and you should give evidences. Am I clear?
Okay, got your point.
Got it, right? So the point
Yeah.
is that now, even before, writing the main essay, that, see, my essay should mandatorily consist of these four things. First, effects as per the demand of the question, solution as per the demand of the question, reasons, and then you have examples. Clear? So these
Mhm.
four things should be there in your essay. That's a must, right? And that's when,
Does it
that's
apply for all type of say or only this problem solution
no,
essay?
see, again, the question would differ. This is a problem
Okay.
solution essay, and here you are getting a different task question, right? In an
Okay.
opinion essay, you will have a different task question. So when we deal with an opinion essay, we will be discussing what should be the
Okay.
inclusions in the opinion essay. But
Okay.
whenever you come across a problem solution essay, as per the question, look at the task question. So when you say, will this be the same? The task question will tell you. The task question
Mhm.
will tell you. And the task
Okay.
question will be there in front of you, right? So look at
Mhm.
the topic, look at the task question. Depending on the task question, you have to understand that, see, these are my inclusions. And once, if I am doing this, that is when, I am kind of satisfying the marking criteria, the first most important marking criteria in your IELTS writing task 2, and that is basically task achievement. Am I clear now?
Yeah, I got your point. Yes, ma'am.